everyone, and welcome to Crossings Kids Online. My name is Maddie, and guess what? I am so glad you're here. Today, we are starting a brand new series called Choose Your Own Adventure, and you have a major part in it. When there's a choice to be made, have a grown-up help you scan the QR code on the screen to cast your vote. I hope you're ready for the adventure of a lifetime, starting out with worship. Everybody stand up.
These words, that's a Snapchat. Boomerang with the praise in the right back. Man, we hide in the sky, no turn back. If it be our last night, leave it all here. No fear, be clear, this is your year. Let go of anything that isn't God's steer. By Zine with a dream, man, it's so clear. Yeah, so clear. And you know wherever you go, I'ma stick close, they gon' think we a duo. Bond so tight, hug it out like a sumo. And I never think twice, you the boss of my life, no, you go. And this world not down with us. They can try to limit faith, but it's down to us. Man, love so deep, not a game to us. When the blessing come down, man, the praise go up, yeah.
Sky, your love is deeper than the sea. Your grace is washing over me and calling me your own. Your own. Higher than the sky, your love is deeper than the sea. Your grace is washing over me and calling me your own. Your own.
Hello everyone, my name is Brett, and I will be your quest master. With me are my three very good friends, Logan, Abby, and Connor. And new to our adventure party is you! Today, we will be embarking on a new quest. But before we begin, let's meet our band of adventurers.
Hi everyone, I'm Logan, and I'll be playing the part of Oled the Tree Slayer from the land of Ooze. I come from a long line of lumberjacks, but I have left my family to seek fame, glory, and fortune in battle. I swing my mighty axe of adamantine, forged in the vicious fires of volcanoes. Forests everywhere tremble at the sound of its swing.
Oh, and what do you do for fun?
I like to read mystery novels and crochet doily coasters.
Oh. Hi, I'm Abby, and I'm going to be playing the part of Henrietta, the great inventor. Orphaned at a young age, I found myself reading books every chance I got. I found out pretty quickly that I had a knack for inventing. You may have heard of chain wax or even the tree whistle. That was invented by, you guessed it, me.
I've never heard of any of those.
They are really common in the East, and they're becoming super popular. Anyway, where was I? Right, great inventor. I can solve any problem or create anything out of scraps that I find.
Well, I guess I'm next. So I'm Connor, and I will play Nigel Weathersby, but my friends call me Doc. I am the great physician to King Magnus, and I am the most well-equipped to keeping our party healthy and whole through our adventure.
And what do you bring into battle?
My sharp mind and my steady hands.
No, what is your weapon?
I don't do battle.
What?
All right, moving on. And last but not least is you. You will be playing the part of heir to the throne in the kingdom of Aeron. Your father, the king, has set out west to gather the armies of his allies for battle, for a great evil has awakened. As heir, you don the striking blue and gold garments of the royal family. Around your waist is the golden sword of valor, and on your back is the shield of righteousness emblazoned with your royal family's crest. Now, before we begin our quest, let me explain the game. As I guide you through our quest, I will present scenarios in which you must decide what to do. From there, you will choose either A or B. Now, you must know you will not be the only one voting on what your character will do. We will take a live vote of all Crossings Kids rooms, including online, to determine the choice that your character will make. Now, let's begin with a practice scenario. There's a hawk flying overhead, circling closer and closer. Do you A, shoot it out of the sky to cook it as a good meal for you and your adventure companions? Or B, do you take a small piece of bread and throw it to the bird? Based on the feedback from all rooms, it looks like you have chosen to throw bread to the bird. And because of your choice, the hawk has become your guide through the land of Aeron. He will fly above you, keeping you safe by keeping watch for danger. Good choice. And now, you are ready to begin your first quest.
To battle!
Not yet, Olid.
But
No.
fine.
Our quest begins in the land of Aeron. The king has just received word from the royal chamberlain that their greatest enemy is planning to take over the kingdom. The king immediately calls together his council at the castle to begin preparations. It has been decided that the king will ride out west to gather forces from the central cities. He has charged you, his heir, with riding to the eastern coast to get the towns of Brookhaven and Wimbledon to join forces with the kingdom of Aeron. He has also charged a fellowship to join you on your journey and assist you as you go. You recognize Olid, the tree slayer, who will protect you in battle. And then there is Henrietta, the inventor, who will help you repair tools and build contraptions. And then finally, there is Nigel Weathersby, the king's most trusted physician, who will keep you well.
If you would just give me 3 days, I could make the fastest carriage.
I don't think that the king wants us to take that long, and we don't want to keep him waiting.
I say we go fight! Why waste our time with jibber jabber and silly inventions?
One of the king's high council members comes to you and says, "The king has instructed you to ride east to the villages of Brookhaven and Wimbledon in order to gather forces to join him on his noble quest to defeat the great evil."
Ooh, I don't like that great evil. It sends shivers down my spine.
You don't have a spine!
I have heard of this great evil. Some say that he leads the largest, darkest army that has ever been created. He will not stop until he conquers every town and kingdom.
That is true. And at the mere sound of his name, you notice a chill creeping down your spine as a flock of ravens flies out of a nearby wood. You recognize the description of this great evil as General Mephistopheles of Doomgrad. You've heard your quest, and you have met your band of adventurers, and you decide that the best choice is to make haste on your quest. But before your journey can begin, you must decide which is the best path to Brookhaven and Wimbledon. Will you, A, take the path through the mountains, or B, take the path through the swamp? You have decided to take the mountain path. And as you begin down the road, you hear birds chirping and bunnies running through the brush, and it appears that at this moment your journey will be safe and peaceful.
As we walk, I sharpen my axe so that it can split the hairs of a fly.
Well, as we're going along the path, I will look for herbs that will help us to make potions for healing.
Doc, what is your nature level?
17.
Very good. As you're moving along the path, you come across some herbs that will help you in making healing elixirs.
Oh, look, I found some forest hen.
Why would you look for herbs when you can just buy medicine somewhere else?
But the skills that I have learned over the years are more valuable than any gold or gemstone.
Correct you are, Doc. As the good King Magnus always says, wisdom is worth searching for. And as you continue down the path, you come across a makeshift gate made from fallen branches and other foraged materials. At this gate stands a short, tiny man in a purple tunic and a large man with a sword across his back. The short man says to you, "Oi, you there! You gotta pay a big man 5 silver coins if you want to take the mountain pass."
These two do not look very bright in the brain bin. We need to figure out how to get across in for free.
I say we fight them and make them pay us for the trouble.
Or we could turn around and maybe go through the swamp. I heard it's lovely this time of year.
What are you saying? You are supposed to be the wise one. It would not be wise to go in the opposite direction of where the king wants us to go.
Oh, well, you know, Oled, you actually are quite wise.
Silence!
Alrighty then. Well, you've decided that going back at this point in the journey would cost you too much time. So, you are left with the decision to either A, convince the men at the gate to let you pass for free at the risk of them doubling the price, or B, engaging in combat at the risk of reinforcements arriving. What will you do? All right, you have have chosen to talk to the men.
Perfect. I'll handle this, Your Majesty. Listen, you simpletons. This is the heir to King Magnus II, and it would behoove you to let us pass free of charge. Otherwise, you will find yourself in a world of trouble.
All right, and what is your persuasion level?
7.
They didn't like that you insulted them. The large man, "You dare insult us? We are not just simple forest dwellers. We would know if he was truly the heir of King Magnus. Now you will face our wrath!" The large man draws his sword, while the smaller man draws a dagger from his tunic. Who attacks first?
I do. I draw my mighty axe and swing.
And what is your strength level?
It is a 19.
Very well, good sir. You draw your axe,
Yes.
scream with all your
Yes.
and the two men very quickly fall to their knees and cower. "We didn't mean anything by it! We didn't mean anything! We're just trying to make money out here in the wilderness! Please pass for free!"
Maybe instead of trying to take other people's money, that you should try looking around at this bountiful land. There's no need using violence when you have wisdom.
What?
You all continue through the gate and up the mountain. As the sun dips down below the peaks with a faint amber glow, you find yourself in a clearing where you will be able to
Fight!
camp.
What a lovely day it's been.
I'll get a fire going. Good thing I brought my knapsack with igniter fluid in it.
Well, I'm starving. I'll need food to sustain myself for the battle tomorrow.
Ah, my friends, pizza is here.
Thin crust?
Is there any other way? And this is where we will pause our quest until next time. Adventurers, to the front door.
Today, we met our adventurers, and as it turns out, you're one of them. Every adventurer, including you, has unique gifts. As our adventure began, we learned that Oled, Henrietta, and Doc all had different ideas about how to solve the problems we encountered. But what we discovered by the end of today's journey is that the best approach we can take in solving problems is to use wisdom. Wisdom is hearing and doing what God says. As we journey each week with our adventurers, we will see them encounter many different challenges. The Bible has a lot to say about how we handle challenges that come our way. Today, in our Bible story, we'll see how Jesus became wise himself. Let's take a look.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Luke, chapter 2, verses 41 through 52.
When God sent His very own Son, Jesus, to earth, angels shouted the good news.
"Fear not, I bring you good news of great joy."
Shepherds and wise men journeyed to visit Jesus, and later, Mary and Joseph hurried to Egypt with their young son to keep him safe from King Herod. But Jesus wasn't always a baby or a young child. We don't know much about his early years, but he had to learn to walk and talk just like every other child.
Mama.
He probably learned from Joseph how to hammer nails and smooth pieces of wood for tables and wheels. We do know one very important story from the time Jesus was a boy. One of Jesus' followers, Luke, wrote it down many years later. He begins, "Every year Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the Passover feast. And when Jesus was 12 years old, they went up to the feast as usual."
Lentils, water skins, extra sandal straps. Jesus, run and tell your father we're packed and ready to leave.
Yes, Mother.
The trip from their home in Nazareth to Jerusalem took several days. Friends and family traveled together. Jesus likely spent the day with his cousins and friends, finding his parents at dinner time.
I brought sticks for the fire.
I'll start the stew.
We should reach Jerusalem by noon tomorrow.
We don't know what Jesus thought or felt when he saw the city of Jerusalem perched on the rocky hillside ahead. Years later, he would enter the city to the shouts of cheering crowds. But for now, Jesus was just a boy celebrating Passover with his family.
You remember where your cousins live, right?
We're staying with them again.
I can find it.
All week, families celebrated with relatives. Together, they enjoyed the Passover feast.
You, O Lord our God, have given us festival days for joy, in remembrance of the departure from Egypt. Blessed are you, O Lord our God.
When the feast was over, Mary and Joseph packed and began their trip home along the crowded roads. At the end of the day, they stopped to set up camp.
Jesus, can you start the cooking fire? Jesus?
I thought I saw him with... No, that was before we left the city.
Mary and Joseph searched through the nearby families, settling down for the evening.
Have you seen Jesus?
Not since he gave me the last potato pancake yesterday evening.
No one's seen him.
Since Jerusalem.
We left him in the city.
Frantic, Mary and Joseph hurried back to Jerusalem to search for their missing son. They immediately checked the home where they had been staying.
Very sorry, but I haven't seen him.
Mary and Joseph crisscrossed the entire city.
He loved the honey cakes from that bakery. Excuse me, have you seen a 12-year-old boy about this tall?
Dark brown robe.
Hair kind of sticks out over his ears.
Yes, like that.
Sorry, haven't seen him.
They may have checked the swimming hole or the stables, but Jesus was nowhere to be found. So Mary and Joseph paced the streets at wit's end.
He's just never gone off like this.
I don't think he's here. We've searched the whole city.
Everywhere except...
As Mary and Joseph turned the corner, high white walls rose ahead of them.
The temple! We'll check the courtyard.
Just in case.
The courtyard was filled with visitors still in the city for Passover. As they circled the open space, Mary froze.
Joseph, there!
Just ahead, they saw their son. Jesus was sitting with a group of teachers, listening and asking questions.
Teacher, isn't it always right to be kind, even if it means giving money to a beggar on the Sabbath?
The teachers nodded in agreement and amazement, but Mary and Joseph rushed forward.
Jesus!
Son, why have you treated us like this?
Grabbing her boy, Mary hugged Jesus so hard she nearly squeezed the air out of him.
Your father and I have been worried about you. We've been looking for you everywhere.
Why were you looking for me? Didn't you know I had to be in my father's house?
All I know is, no more stunts like this, okay?
Jesus returned to Nazareth with his parents, obeying everything they asked of him. As he grew wiser and stronger. He also became more and more pleasing to God and to others.
Can you close your eyes for a moment and imagine Jesus being your age? Think about the things you do every day. Now imagine Jesus. What do you think he was doing? We learned today in our Bible story that while Jesus was a little boy, he was also God. And because of that, he understood how important wisdom is. Jesus searched for wisdom. That's why his parents found him in the temple. He knew that was where he would find wisdom. He was listening and learning and asking questions of the teachers who taught people about God. Because God is so powerful, in this situation, Jesus' parents grew in wisdom too. While Joseph and Mary were actually searching for Jesus, when they found him, they also discovered wisdom. Remember, wisdom is hearing and doing what God says. And that's what Jesus was doing when they found him. Because we follow Jesus, we want to do what we see him doing. And how we learn what Jesus was doing is by reading about it in the Bible. God wants you to seek wisdom too. It's what he wants for all his children, to hear and do what he says. This week, open your Bible to Luke chapter 2 and read the story about how Jesus became wiser and stronger and more pleasing to God and others. That's what we want to do too. See you guys next week.